with our presentations, I would like to also thank Gary Kresick and Kathy Brown for putting in all this work for the presentations, calling all the people, preparing the remarks, and so forth, and also to our staff, who is always here working so hard. My name is Patricia Siebold, and I am the Freeholder Vice President. I'm making a presentation tonight to a very good friend of mine, Melanie Gorelick. It's a special commendation because Melanie Gorelick is a good friend of mine. And I've known her for so many years. And she's here tonight in a dual capacity as Director of the Community Relations Committee of Greater Metro West New Jersey and a facilitator of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking. Just to make a comment about the Community Relations Committee, I happen to be a member of the CRC and chair of a committee which deals with training women in political work. And so I work with Melanie so often, and she is a terrific person. I know she's also accompanied by some others here tonight, and they've been working with her on this issue, and she will have a chance to introduce them. So before we get started, I'm going to ask Melanie to join me up here, and if you'd like to bring someone with you, please do. I'm going to ad-lib just a little bit here because I have something that I want to read that recognizes Melanie Gorelick for something she achieved recently. The Community Relations Committee of the Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West New Jersey was recognized for its leadership of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking by the Jewish Council for Public Affairs. The Program Excellence Award was presented to CRC Director Melanie Roth Gorelick at the JCPA Plenum, the annual policy gathering of Jewish community relations professionals from around the country, held March 8th through 11th in Atlanta. The coalition, established in 2011 by the CRC, is made up of about 100 groups, including faith-based, ethnic, and community organizations, government agencies, law enforcement, and direct service providers whose mission is to eradicate human trafficking through education, advocacy, and assistance to survivors. Gorelick, who also conducted 2 workshops on the topic at the plenum, we are on our way to creating an abolitionist movement in the United States against human trafficking, a horrific crime. And of course, here is her picture, and I had to ad-lib and show that before I continue because I was so impressed by this. Tonight, we want to bring attention to a terrible, terrible problem that plagues civilized society everywhere in the world, and that is the scourge of human trafficking. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. It imprisons and exploits people, too often women and children, for sexual activity or to provide labor or services for the economic benefits of others. It's demeaning, it's criminal, it's exploitative, it deprives children of their futures, and it's evil. It should not be permitted to exist in the 21st century, and it is incumbent upon us to do whatever we can to bring this to an end. And that brings me back to the purpose of tonight's presentation, to present Melanie with this Freeholder Board resolution proclaiming January 11th, 2014 as Human Trafficking Awareness Day in Essex County, in recognition of her hard work, her hard and compassionate work, as well as her colleagues at Metro West and the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking to stamp out this despicable activity. Sadly, and as was widely predicted, we were all reminded of this terrible problem in the lead up to the Super Bowl, when 16 juveniles were rescued and more than 45 pimps were arrested in a horrifying scheme to prostitute women and children right here in New Jersey. We are so glad that those victims were saved, and who knows how many others weren't. And that's something that should make it hard for us to sleep peacefully at night, knowing the horrors those unknown victims are suffering. And so, with all of that said, I am really pleased to be able to present this resolution to Melanie and to thank her for all her hard work and to give her an opportunity to tell us all about her work.
And it's not my work alone. This is a collaborative effort of everyone on our coalition. And here today with me are coalition members and leaders, including Patricia DeMine Harms from the Junior League, and Stephen DeLuca from ECPAT USA and the New York Coalition Against Human Trafficking, students from St. Elizabeth, and from U.S. Customs, and you'll hear from a few of us today. Patricia, I want to thank you so much for this. It means a lot to us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for all those kind words. Patricia was reading an article that was just printed in the New Jersey Jewish News. I appreciate it. As Patricia said, the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking aim is to create an abolitionist movement in New Jersey to stamp out human trafficking. The purpose of the coalition is not only in New Jersey, but around the United States and around the world. This growing problem in the United States is second growing criminal industry, second only to drug dealing and to scopes of arms dealing. And it's one that we believe that if people, individuals around the country take action and raise awareness about, that we can actually end. Human trafficking is defined as forced fraud and/or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation or forced labor. Contrary to popular belief, under federal and state law, human trafficking does not require movement of people across borders. The U.S. Department estimates that 600,000 to 800,000 people are trafficked in the United States annually. This is something that all of us need to join forces and work collaboratively to end. This cannot be allowed right here in modern day, to have modern day slavery. The coalition got established in 2011 by a small group of people who were learning about who were working against human trafficking independently, who came together to realize if we work together, we could be a force. And together we've grown from being 5 to 20 to now over 100 organizations representing almost every faith-based, ethnic group, college, educational program, government departments in New Jersey. And we're really proud not only of the accomplishments that we've had so far, but also how well we work together. And we believe that if we all join hands and we all work with our hearts, that we can make a difference for anyone who's isolated, living in slavery and in violence. Leading up to the Super Bowl and what we've done so far is we helped to ensure the passage of legislation, New Jersey, that was passed a year ago, May 6th in New Jersey. New Jersey is now considered to have the strongest enforcement legislation in the country, and we hope to see it fully implemented this year. We're very proud of our state and our state legislators. And we've also requested and wonderfully are receiving proclamations such as this one. We have 70 proclamations around the state. We believe by engaging Freeholders such as Patricia Siebold and others in the fight against human trafficking at the local level will be the only way to stop this crime. So again, Patricia, I want to thank you so, so much. This means a great deal to us. Essex County is important to us, and we look forward to your partnership on fighting this. So thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything? Patricia?
I want to echo my appreciation and also echo the impact that ordinary citizens can make. Right in Essex County, there was a labor trafficking ring running from 2002 to 2007. There were approximately 20 victims, some as young as 10 years old. And they were rescued because someone in the community said, I have noticed something, I'm not sure I can put a name to it, but something is not right. And they called the tip line, whether they called the state hotline or the national hotline, which is 888-3737, 888. The most important thing is they called a hotline, and these girls and women were rescued, and they are well on their way toward leading healthy, productive lives. So thank you.
Thank you. Patricia is with the Junior League of the State Public Affairs of Junior Leagues, and she was very instrumental in helping to get the legislation written, and she chairs our legislative affairs. Stephen, would you like to say something?
Again, thank you for having us, and thank you for the proclamation and well-deserved commendation for you. Congratulations. I'm speaking on behalf of ECPAT, which is End Child Prostitution and Trafficking. ECPAT USA is based in Brooklyn, New York, but they are in 70 countries worldwide, and I'm proud to be on their board of advisors. They are, too, an active member of this coalition, and I'm glad that we're able to help with bringing forward certain things in the legislation that are meant to protect children. And why is this important? Because most girls who enter into prostitution are between the ages of 12 and 15 years old. We don't have really great stats on it. It's very underreported. But that is about what we're seeing. Girls who are as young as 12, sometimes even younger. That's just the average age. There are some girls even younger than that. So we know that most girls who are in the life today didn't have a choice and were not old enough to even consent to this kind of exploitation. So when someone says, well, it's their choice to continue doing this, that's false. That's a myth. Most people are brought into this against their will and when they're too young to even decide that. What ECPAT in particular has been doing, and we've worked with the coalition and others on this, we had some training that was focused on making sure that hotel operators who wanted to renew their licenses had to go through training on how to identify victims and how to help them. That was necessary. That was a requirement where we did that in a few places here in Jersey City. We also have a code of conduct for hotel operators in the tourism industry to sign, and we have a lot of the major national and international chains who have signed on, and we're working further on that. We're also working on safe harbor laws. Unfortunately, only a handful of the states have strong safe harbor laws to protect children and to treat them as victims rather than as criminals, and we're working very hard on doing that, on strengthening the laws to give them better help with that, and also to be able to expunge their records when they were able to get out of the life so they can have a normal life afterwards. Thank you very much for your support.
With U.S. Customs and Border Protection out of the Port of New York, Newark, I would just like to thank the coalition for including law enforcement in their meetings. It's an excellent networking opportunity for us, not only to meet nonprofit organizations, but also to interact with fellow law enforcement members. And I've only recently been involved, but the few meetings I've been to, it really is impressive, the passion they have for this cause. And bringing in all these various parties involved really says something, and it just keeps building on itself, and it's only going to get better. So thank you very much to the coalition.
The last two things I want to say is, one is we have a website to be a portal on human trafficking. It's www.njhumantrafficking.org. That's www.njhumantrafficking.org. If people want to get involved, please find us through the website and join the abolitionist movement. And I just want to also thank the Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West for allowing, and through pro bono means and kindness, allowing us to run the coalition out of our offices.
Thank you so much, Melanie, and thank you so much for bringing all these wonderful people with you whom you are working with. Through your hard work and your commitment, I know that society will be a better place to live. So thank you so much for all that you do.